My name is Bailey Resman, and I need to be stopped.
All right, guys. We did, in fact, make it to episode 2. I did not get stopped. Love that for me. And I will never be stopped because I have to give the people what they want. And the people asked, they did. The people asked, you need to do a Notes app episode. And by, I mean the people who asked, it's just me. I asked myself, hey, you're going to do a Notes app episode. And I specifically wore this shirt today that I got in a Goodwill bin. For those who can't see, it's a red crew neck. There's a picture of a horse. And it says, I came, I rode, I lived. So, I had come up with this concept for a while ago during the whole podcast brainstorming phase that I was like, I have to do a Notes app episode because my Notes app is completely unhinged. Genuinely, I think it is one of the most unhinged places in the whole entire world. So sorry. It's a great peek into my brain. And originally, I was going to go through a bunch of things I have on my Notes app. And some of those include super, nothing crazy in terms of like really good band names. Then that's like actually the least unhinged one. I do have one that I wrote when I was high, where I was sitting there high as fuck. For the people who don't know me, I love the show Below Deck, and I sat there making a list of all the Below Deck cast members who are on multiple seasons. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Whatever. Anyways, those are the the less crazy ones. Then we have stuff like people I think are aliens, people I think are NPCs. Every time me and my friend Abby have been on the same page. But then we get to the more unhinged ones. This episode is dedicated to my quote book. And I'm going to go through this quote book that is almost 7 years long. It started in 2019. It's about to be 2026. Years and years and years of digging into my brain, especially. And digging into other people's brains like that. Anyways, this episode is dedicated to my quote book. And I've picked out, hand-selected, some really, 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 really great quotes. And this will kind of give you an idea of people I hang out with, things that I do, backstory on my life. That's always how this fucking podcast goes. But this is only part 1. This is part 1 of the series that is going to be called I Need to Stop Being Allowed Access to My Notes app. Yeah, I really should not have access to that goddamn fucking thing. They're gonna bring my Notes app to like a psychiatrist or a psychologist after I die and be like, God, there was a lot of things going in that girl's brain. And I also want to say special thank you to everybody who watched episode 1. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Actually, I'd probably still be here because I'm going to record this podcast no matter what. What was the last thing I had to say? Oh, PSA. This is the last thing I have to say. PSA. If you are my friend and you're listening to this, if you're a random person and you're listening to this, please take my Notes app away from me. Actually don't, but do. Maybe. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on me. But yeah, I'm so excited for you guys to hear quotes that have been fucking circulating in my life since 2019. All right, guys, we're about to get into the first section of quotes. Okay, the first section. It's already a strong section. And these are quotes from my family. And in the words of Jordan Resman, my sister, she's getting the first quote. She's getting the first quote, Jordan. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. The first quote in this quote book list that I have compiled is, I think everyone who knows you hates you just a little bit. That was from my sister. Thanks, Jordan. Don't know what the fuck that was about. Anyways, let's ask the audience. If you're in my life, do you hate me just a little bit or a lot of it? Or do you not hate me at all? Mr. Libel's sitting over there. I'll ask him, Mr. Libel. Okay, no answer. It's fine. It's fine. in response to my sister, this is a different quote, completely different time, but in response to that quote, I have written down, Jordan's being stupid right now. Her words, not mine. Yeah, Jordan, you're being stupid. You're being stupid by saying that fucked up thing about me. Everyone hates me just a little bit. Okay, another quote we have. This kind of has a little story time behind it. So, my uncle and my aunt, they live in North Carolina, and they live in this small ass town. I think it's maybe 2,000 people. It's probably less. Fun fact about their town that they live in, during 2020, during COVID, they had 2 cases of corona. That's it. 2 cases, because everybody kind of lives on their own separate plot of land. And my aunt and my uncle, all this information's irrelevant, honestly, but I'm going to tell you guys anyways. My aunt and my uncle live on this piece of land, and they have a fuck ton of animals. Donkeys, horses, chickens. At one point, they had a peacock. They had a bunch of dogs. Like, they had a lot. They can all their own stuff. Like, I love my aunt and my uncle. But where I'm going with this story is that when we would drive to see my aunt and uncle, we would drive all the way down to North Carolina. Who would be driving the car? My mother. Yes, we've gone over that. She's a little cuckoo. We've gone over that. But for some odd reason, that woman always knows where she's going. And we've driven this, it's a 12-hour drive, but for some odd reason, she doesn't even need fucking directions. And I say to my sister, how does she know where to go? Jordan says in response, she's like a pigeon. Yeah, I think she's kind of like a pigeon, but I actually think she's smarter than a pigeon. Honestly, I don't know what's a really smart bird now that I think about it, but a pigeon is kind of dumb. Anyways, okay, that's all the quotes from my sister. Thank God. Just kidding, Jordan. You're not even fucking listening to this anyways. Now we're going to move on to, let's go from quotes from my mother. And all these quotes I actually have from my mother are in relation to my father. We'll get there. Okay. My dad, he's the kind of guy who will sit down and watch anything on the television. We are kind of like that. Me and my dad. I will sit there and I'll yell at the TV just like him. But that's only when I'm watching Dancing with the Stars. No, it's not when I'm only watching Dancing with the Stars. Anyways, my dad's in the other room. He's yelling. I say to my mom, I'm like, who's he yelling at? She goes, the TV. I mean, like father, like daughter, because I'll say it. Also, I wonder, can you guys see Mr. Reliable in the corner right now? He's making noise. He's scratching the blinds. Come here. Come hang out. He's coming, guys. He's in the shot. Maybe. Okay, he's here. All right. Anyways, moral of the story is I also yell at the TV when I'm watching Dancing with the Stars. All right, another quote from my mother in relation to my father. We have the quotes. So, other context, we already know this. We've had a lot of animals our whole entire life. Right now, we had 4 dogs at one point, but now we're only down to 1. RIP to the others, and that's Marley, Queen. My mom says to my dad, because he had just gotten home, she goes, you'll kiss the dog, you won't kiss me. You'll kiss the cat, you won't kiss me. Right. I mean, so real. All right, we've only got 2 quotes left in the family section. Actually, no. 3. All my father. And this is, once again, I said this, like, everything when it comes to my family kind of explains everything of why I am the way that I am. My dad, this was during COVID. My dad, we obviously voted Biden and Harris. Duh. And my dad had this like bandana on the dog that said Biden Harris. And my mom was like, why the fuck do you keep putting the fucking bandanas on the dog? The dog doesn't want the goddamn fucking bandanas. You kept putting the bandanas on the dog everywhere we went. My mom was like, why do you keep putting bandanas on the dog? And he goes, I need the people to see the Democratic dog. And he's absolutely right. We gotta let the people know, and we gotta let people know specifically that my dog is a Democrat. Marley is a Democrat. She voted for Biden and Harris. Anyways. All right. Another quote we have from my father. I have no idea the context of this situation, But he did say at one point, I am the salt of the earth. I don't know, beats me. All right, last quote. This one's also a good one from my dad. So at one point he wasn't working and he was at home and we were eating dinner and my dad said, well, I'm not working. And my mom in response goes, well, then go volunteer somewhere. In response to that, my fucking dad goes, I'm going to volunteer at the strip club. Do you want to hear the craziest thing is that my hometown does have a local strip club. I've never been in it. It's kind of like the world's greatest mystery of Bloomingdale, Illinois. Actually, it's Roselle, Illinois. Of what the fuck is this actual place? I've never gone in it. If I do and I go back home and I do go in eventually, I'll give you guys an update. Okay. Now we are on our next section of quotes. And this is the section of people that I've worked with and things that they have said at work. Some of them are not even related to work. Some of them are just fucking random. But I want to let the people of America know that not everything I say at work and not everything that people say at any of my places of work are related to actually working. Because here's the first quote from one of my managers at my current place of work. We had sugar gliders growing up, and my mom would stick them in her tits and go to work. Was that related to being in the service industry? Absolutely not. But this is how you keep things entertaining, people. All right. Now, we are gonna, I'm like, where should I start with the rest of these? I'm actually just gonna go down the list. The next one I have in here does get a little context. This one's good. This is a good story. This is a good one. Okay. So I've been on Bumble. I'm single. I'm having fun. Love it. And I matched with this like really, really, really muscular guy. This is actually a really fucking good story. I matched with this really, really muscular guy, and I'm not going to give his name, but sorry. This man, we matched, and he was kind of telling me like he kind of wanted to be dominated. I was like, oh, well, interesting. I'm like, I could be potentially down for that. Like getting a man on his hands and knees, absolutely. And you know, things were getting a little interesting in the things that he wanted me to do. And one of them, so sorry to the people. No, I'm not sorry. He did want me to peg him. And here's where the story kind of takes a turn. So we were messaging on Instagram. He literally was like, do you Snapchat? And I was like, no, you're 27 years old. And then he was like, well, do you have Instagram? I'm like, just ask me for my fucking phone number, you freak. Doesn't do it. So we start messaging on Instagram. This is where he's telling me he wants to dom him. At one point, he's like, you can pick out lingerie for me to wear. Honestly, I don't have a problem with any of that. I don't have a problem with this man wanting to put on lingerie. I don't have a problem with him wanting me to peg him. I don't have a problem with any of that. I want to put that out there. Why I'm specifically saying this is because then I found out that this man follows fucking Donald Trump on Instagram. And I was like, there's no fucking way that this fucking Trump fucking muscular ass man wants to get pegged. Like, that's just an anomaly in its own. But my coworker, Vito, I was telling him this and he goes, he's going to have a quarter life crisis as you're pegging him. Moral of the story, what ended up happening though is that I never got to peg him. Never. I never got to select lingerie for him. I never even met up with him because he ghosted me. Okay. This next quote came from my first job I've ever worked. And I got to give a little backstory for this quote to make sense. So, when I had my first job ever, I loved it. Second favorite job I've ever had. My current job is my favorite job. Actually, my number one favorite job is this podcast. It's not a job yet. We'll get there. We'll get there at some point. But my first job, I was 18. I worked with 2 other boys. They were 16. I had a key to that goddamn fucking restaurant. It was a lot of fun. I did love it, I will say. But it was a catering restaurant, and the biggest thing that we were known for, and we would have to get like, we would get hundreds of orders for them, and we'd be frying. So it was chicken tenders, and we would be frying chicken like all day. That was the boys' job, though. That was the boys' job. Sometimes I had to step in and fry the chicken. Sometimes I had to step in and pan the chicken. Sometimes I had to fucking dip the chicken in the batter. Like, it was a very, very interesting job, I will say. But most of the time, I just, like, did the salads and stuff. That was the boys' job. This is the only time I'll ever say, like, that's a man's job. Actually, there's a lot of things I'll say is a man's job. Like, hanging my shit up. Yeah, that's a man's job. Anyways. But yeah, we would have to fucking fry so many orders of chicken. And everything was by raw weights. And so one of the kids I was working with, he was going through the chicken bag, and we were talking to my boss, and he was like, tell your chicken man that there's breasts in the tender bag. Because there were chicken tenders, but for some odd reason, there would be goddamn fucking ginormous pieces of fucking chicken breast, apparently. Another quote. This one's a good one. Here's some context. So, and this will be relevant. This will be relevant for later. One of my coworkers, who works in the kitchen, he's a dishwasher, my king. I love him. He's like 70 years old, and we're in love. He literally he hugs me every shift. He's like, mi corazón, mi amor. We love each other. And so where I was going with this, though, is that we have one coworker who, like, drives there on a scooter, and sometimes he'll drive him home. And he was like, sometimes I don't even feel him in the back, because he's like such a little, scrawny, dishwasher. He's so sweet. Love him. But yeah, sometimes he doesn't feel him in the back, obviously. Now we're back to another quote from, I'm not going to say her name, but the same manager who was the first quote. She said, instead of mace, I keep this little gun on my key. And it's like a little, I'm not even kidding, it's like this little fake laser gun that she keeps on her keys. It was funny, I will say. Okay. I'm going to go with some quotes from one of my favorite coworkers. Love him. King. I can't say his name. I can't say anybody's name. I'm so sorry. I don't want to, like, include people who don't want to be included. But yeah, he's in his 50s. He's a Navy vet. He's so fucking funny. Love him. So I've got a few quotes from him. And so this one's good. So I'm going to hold her up. Miss Sabrina Carpenter. Oh my God, Mr. Reliable's literally putting his face in the camera right now. Mr. Reliable, come here. Oh my God, for all my audio listeners. Oh my God, for all my audio listeners. My cat just fucking got on the couch and put his face in the camera. Okay, back to the story. So this was a few years ago. We had our Christmas playlist on, and there was a cover of Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Who sings it? This is where I was going. Sabrina Carpenter. She's on a candle right now. She's lit up. And he was listening to the song. He goes, oh, this is the sexy Christmas song. Because I'm not going to lie, it is a fucking sexy Christmas song. Sabrina Carpenter was like really, really wanting to make everybody know that You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Okay. I have 2 more quotes from him. Another one, music related. Red Wine Supernova by Chappell Roan was playing in the restaurant. And, of course, like, he's in his 50s. He's never fucking heard this song. And he goes, I don't know what this shit is, but it's doing something to my ears. Yeah. Red Wine Supernova does shit to my ears too. Okay, last quote I have from him is, I met this girl in my class, and I said, whatever you do, I'm going to bleep his name, whatever you do, Do not sleep with her. And then he goes, I slept with her the first night. Yeah, that gives you a little insight. Love him. Love him. Love you if you're watching this. I followed you on the podcast account. Okay. This next quote comes from literally my favorite person in the world besides Mr. Reliable and Homer. And that is Miss Kaylee. She's my best friend in the whole entire wide world. I don't know if she thinks the same about me. I think it might be a little unrequited at this current moment in time, but it's fine. Okay, so she was talking about her boyfriend. We had a horrible day at work. I don't even remember what had happened, but we did not have a good day. And she goes, I'm going to leave his name. Asked me what I wanted for dinner. And I was like, a bullet. Yeah, kind of real after whatever happened in that goddamn fucking shift. Okay. Next quote we've got. This one's good. This one came from my coworker, Elizabeth. Hi, girl. Hope you're doing good at college. And we were talking just randomly. I don't remember about what. And she goes, my stomach hurts. And I go, maybe you got your period. She goes, I hope not. I might lose my virginity tomorrow. Yeah. Duh. You know, every college girl, you know, we've all been there. Okay. The next one comes from another one of my coworkers. And he said, am I serving cunt? He has no idea what serving cunt means. He has no fucking idea. Okay. We're coming towards, you know, the end of the work quotes. This one we can give a little backstory on. So where my job is, we work on the lake and we have valet. And one of the main valet guys, very interesting guy. I wish I could like get inside of his brain and be like, what's going on up there? What's going on? And you're like, okay, how is he interesting? Sometimes I'd like look over and he'd just be dancing in the parking lot. He'd come in all the time and drink like so much coffee. I honestly like this all sounds relatively normal, but here's the thing. Like if you knew this man, like you would if you knew him, you'd be like, yeah, this guy's crazy. But he'd come into the restaurant to grab some coffee and Vito, the man from earlier talking about the pegging, goes, what do you call hot chocolate and coffee mixed together again? And he goes, guacumacu. I don't know, guys. I don't know. All right. Next one we got. I remember this was me and my coworker were food running and we were just like sitting in the back and we were just talking and he goes, oh, my favorite word in Spanish is Papa Nicolau. I hope I said that right. And I go, what's that? And he goes, a pap smear. Ooh, okay, wait. Okay, this one is good. This one's a really good fucking quote because you're going to be like, what the fuck? Okay, so at one point in my life, I was like seeing this man and he could never stay over because he would have to go feed his cat. And you're like, what? Well, he was feeding his cat at 3 a.m. because he was training his cat because I guess, I don't remember what the exact context was, but he kept saying like, I'm trying to then, he was trying to feed her at like 3 a.m. and then get her used to that. And then 4 a.m. and then 5 a.m. and then 6 a.m. so that she can kind of get on a normal schedule for eating. I don't really fucking know. And I was so then he also texted me, he was like, I don't feel the same way. I fucking lost it. I was crying so hard. But I don't need to feel bad about it because my friend literally said this. Get ready. He had to leave at 3 a.m. to feed iPhone. That's a sentence I thought I'd never hear. You're like, what the who's iPhone? iPhone's the name of the goddamn cat. He had to leave my apartment. He could never stay over because he had to leave at 3 a.m. to feed his cat named iPhone. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, now we're going to move on to just random people saying random shit. Yeah, so this one comes from my friend Kira. I hadn't seen her in a long time. She was telling me about this guy that she was seeing. And she said to me, verbatim, we were talking about how men were evil. She goes, he was so evil. We were about to hook up, and I remember he Febrezed his feet in front of me. Ah! Is that not evil? Is that not evil, people? Okay. This is another good one. From one of my friends, he had said, I'm ingrained on Jewish TikTok and architecture TikTok. I'm neither Jewish or an architect. I'm trying to think what's on my For You page right now. Oh, you want to know what it is? I'm going to be so for real. Guys, last night I did have a hookup. And I am wearing a turtleneck for a reason. And right now, I'll tell you what my fucking TikTok is. How to get rid of hickeys. Because I fucking was sitting there all last night being like, holy shit, I have a bunch of hickeys on me. And I need to figure out how to get them out. I did use a whisk. I am wearing a fuck ton of makeup on my neck right now that you can't even fucking see anyways. Because I'm wearing goddamn turtleneck. But whatever. I don't know how I was getting there. Oh, because I was talking about what fucking side of TikTok I'm on. Oh my God. Anyways, I need to get on ADHD medication. Here's another good. This is a good one and requires backstory. So, when I had my second car I ever had. It was a 1997 Sebring convertible. It was gold. Awesome fucking car to have. The only issue with this car, and this will be its own separate story time now that I think about it. The issue with this car is that sometimes the dashboard didn't work. And you're asking, okay, what the fuck? Yeah, so twice I ran out of gas. One of the times it was on the highway because I didn't see how much gas I had. I didn't know how fast I was going. That's insane. I just acted like that was fucking normal. Yeah, that was where I needed to be stopped, people. Was then with that goddamn fucking car. And I was driving around with my friend Lily. She was high as hell, and she goes, I keep thinking, is this a real or fake car because of the dashboard? Honestly, very fucking reasonable thing to say considering that was actually probably not a real car. Why the hell did my parents let me drive that? One time I got pulled over by the police. They pulled me over on my street. This is in the suburbs. And they were like, I was driving 14 over. And then I remember he like put me over. And I was like, I told him, I'm like, I'm on my street right now. This is literally my street. Whatever. And I cried. I got out of he didn't write me a ticket. But I literally said to him, oh, my dashboard doesn't work. Don't know why I said that. Okay. Ooh, this one comes from a coworker at my first job that wasn't my chicken job. And I was talking to my friend who worked there, and she's a huge stoner, and she was talking about how she would get her blood drawn during school when they would have like the blood drive, and she would get her blood drawn because she wanted to get out of class, and she said 3 out of the 4 times they couldn't even use my blood because of the day after 420. And if that's the case, I probably would not be able to donate blood. Anyways, okay, this comes from Zoe. Hi, Zoe. I'm recording on her camera right now. I told her. I said, you're getting a quote in my quote book. And it's very, very relevant. It's very, very relevant to today. You're asking me, okay, how's it relevant? Because she said, the more people I can get their eyes on Wicked, the better. Because no one mourns the wicked. Honestly, guys, can I say something? We're talking about Wicked now. We're getting away from the quotes for a moment. I have to say this. I think the one song I had on my playlist from Wicked, and you're gonna be like, Defying Gravity? No. Because this was the one that fucking made me crack up, and I was like, I have to put this on the playlist because I keep singing it. And it's Something Bad is Happening in Us. It's when Dr. Dillman fucking is singing to Elphaba because there's something bad happening to us. And then he goes, something bad, because he can't speak. The animals can't speak. Let the animals speak. Okay. This is another quote from my friend. We were talking about one of his ex-girlfriends, and he goes, my ex was super sensitive. And my friend in response said, like, emotionally? And he goes, no, in her vagina. Yeah, sometimes we women have sensitive vaginas. Okay, going down again. Okay, this is a little bit more context, fun story. I don't know if you guys have ever played, is it Poetry for Neanderthals? It's something like that. I know Neanderthals is in the title. We were playing this at my friend's birthday, and basically the concept of the game is that you get a word and you can only use one syllable words to describe it. Okay? And so I guess an example would be like if the word was like, I don't fucking know, candle. You'd be like light, flame, scent. And then, as you keep saying the one syllable words, like then someone will guess candle and then you get a point. But we were playing this and my friend Jack was giving words and he said, wife, groom. My friend on the other team is like, marriage, affair. And then our friend was like, time's up. And he goes, I was going for cock ring. I don't know how marriage or affair it was wife or groom relates to that, but hey, I'm going to throw another one in there for Jack. You get two. You get two in the quote book. And they have a dog named Bagel. Bagel's the best dog in the whole entire world. I fucking love her. She's the best dog in the whole entire world. But there's one thing about Bagel, and I'll say it with the quote. And Jack says, with Bagel's pronounced vulva, I'd hope she'd be a feminist. Does anybody else have a pronounced vulva and is a feminist? I don't know if mine's pronounced. I would have to take a look down there. I'll ask the guy I hooked up with last night. Okay, last quote from this. We were talking about my first cat that I had. He did pass away. R.I.P. Buster, I love you. Mr. Reliable may be in the shot, though. And I was talking to my friend. I was like, talking about Buster, and I was like, what do you think he thinks about? And he goes, murder. And that is the random quotes. This is I actually have 6 sections. I'm so sorry, people, I lied. This is a section dedicated to my friends, Jacob and Paulina. I texted you today, Jake. I said, you're getting a whole section in the quote book. You're welcome. They are literally 2 of the funniest fucking people in the whole entire world. We will have them on for an episode and you guys will be fucking giggling. Paulina was talking about how she smokes a lot of weed, and she goes, if Jacob's a stoner, then I'm an addict. And I will say, if Jacob is a stoner, then yeah, I'm an addict too. Okay. Now we're gonna go to some quotes that are pertained to my first kiss. Because when I didn't tell him the first kiss story, but we made out, he did suck on my titty. And that was like the furthest it went. I did say some clothes came off. And that was like the whole entire meme of me and Jacob for like a while was talking about how this guy, we literally was like talking about how he was a titty sucker. And Jake, I was debriefing about the makeout and he was like, Bailey, what is your rice purity score now that you had your titty sucked on? I think at the time it was maybe like fucking, it was low. It was low. I don't know. Anyways, Jake also says, did you hold him like a baby? And one more quote about Mr. ROTC, man. For those who don't know, I did write songs for a period of my life. Still think I do, but now I'm focused on the podcast. And I had said, he wants me to write a song about him. And Jake goes in response, Little does he know you've already written 5, which is probably true. Okay. Oh, there's one more related to Jake. Me and like my sex life and everything. Me and Jake went to Spencer's. Is that the name of it? Spencer's, I think. Yeah. We had gone to Spencer's and they have a whole adult toy section. And I was buying something. It was $50. And Jake goes, I don't know why he fucking came with me to go get a fucking sex toy. Jake, why did we go together? I mean, you know what? Actually, you're the number one person I want to buy a sex toy with. He goes, Bailey, this is a $50 orgasm. Anyways, Mr. Reliable's here again. All right. We've got some from Paulina here. We've got, we walked into a grocery store. Or no, I think it was a restaurant. And they had like, you know, slot machines and shit. And she points to like the gambling section. She goes, do you guys want to go play in the arcade? We did not go play in the arcade, unfortunately. Last quote from Paulina. I had said, do you guys know anything about Aphrodite? Paul goes, she's the goddess of love. I would know that because I played Pop Tropica Mythology Island. Did anybody else play Pop Tropica? I did. I never defeated the level, I don't think. And I'll leave you on this last one from Jake. And it's honestly, I think most people will relate to this quote. Jake had said, so we were in the car, we're listening to Love Fool by the Cardigans. And he goes, I heard this song in a Mariano's once and I was like, fuck. And that's on that. That's on Love Fool by the Cardigans. Okay. My second to last section. At one point, here's another context. At one point during 2020, I did nanny some kids. They were so awesome. I loved it. God, that also was, I will say that's also in my top. Everything is a number one job for me, okay? Except for the 2 jobs that I worked that I hated, which wasn't nannying the kids. But I nannied them. I was with them literally 5 days a week during COVID, making sure they got on school. I made them lunch. It was an awesome job. I loved working with the kids. And I do have some quotes from them because they were super funny. One of them from the little girl that I nannied, the rover was landing on Mars or something. So I think it was on Mars. And she goes, her mom wanted us to watch it. And I was going to put it on. And she goes, I have no interest in watching some stupid, dumb rover land. She's so fucking real for that. She was 6 and she did not care about that goddamn fucking rover. These other 3 quotes did come from the little boy that I nannied. There were 3 kids, but this is one of the little boys. He goes, what's my mom's birthday? I was like, I don't know. And he goes, me neither. Then we were playing video games at one point, and if anybody knows me, I'm not good at video games. I die all the goddamn fucking time whenever I'm playing video games. And I died. I go, oh, I died. And he goes, yeah, we should probably get a different game for you right now. He was 8. He was 8 saying that to me, clocking my fucking ass like that. The last one I have from him, he was a funny kid. Is that he's walking down the stairs, fake limping. And he goes, I think I have polio. Yeah. And now you understand why I love that job so much, because genuinely they were such funny kids. Okay, guys, we have reached the last section of the quotes. Don't cry. Don't freaking cry. It's going to be okay. And because I think these are the best ones, honestly. I handpicked these ones because I personally think that these are the best ones. What makes them the best ones? Oh yeah, they're all the quotes by me that are funny. But actually, here's the thing, is that everything I say is funny if you think about it in theory. Are you giggling? I am. Anyways, so going back to the whole theme of the podcast, I'm going to give you guys some quotes of things that I have said. And once again, this will give you a way to answer this question. Does chaos follow me, or do I need to be stopped? I'm going to go with, because of the things that I've been saying, I probably need to be stopped. It's okay. This first quote does a really great job of describing who I am. And it says, my body's heating up like an oven. I'm preheating. I'm about to make cupcakes. Okay, you're asking me, what do you mean? Why is your body preheating like an oven? Oh, it was because I was fucking high as fuck. It was one of the first times I had gotten high, and like I felt it like slowly just being like getting into my body. And I think it's a really great metaphor in theory. Like every time I get high, it's like I'm baking cupcakes. Use that next time. Another quote from me. This one's so fucking stupid, but it fucking cracks me up because I'm so funny. People just don't think about things that I think about and how they can be funny. Okay, so I was at the drive-in with my friend Sarah, and I was shining my flashlight onto the ceiling of the car. And I'm laying next to Sarah. And I start doing shadow puppets on the fucking reflection on the ceiling of the car. And I go, Sarah, do you want to see a show? If anybody wants me to put on a hand puppet show, shadow puppet show, I'm your girl. Okay. Okay, these are, for some odd reason, Mr. Army Man, Mr. ROTC Man, Mr. Reliable's looking dead in the camera right now. I wonder if you guys can see him. For Mr. Army Man, I don't even know why he gets so many quotes, but he does. So he had, how do I put this lightly? Oh yeah, fingered me. And the first time a man ever did that to me, it was not enjoyable. Mr. Army Man it wasn't enjoyable, but also I didn't really know what was going on. It was a whole thing. But he was going so fast. He was going so fast on that goddamn fucking, the clitoris. And how I would describe it, I'd be like, we've all been in school where you get a prompt and you go to English and you get a prompt and you have to write a timed essay. We've all been there, and you have like 45 minutes to write a long ass fucking 3 pages of notebook paper about some fucking William Shakespeare or some shit. And the way that I would talk about how he fingered me, I'd be like, he wrote a timed essay on my vagina. And in response to that, here's another quote related to him. And you understand, like he was writing a timed essay on my vagina. So that shit hurt. Sorry, my Google just went off. So it did not feel great. And I had said, is this a good time to tell him I've never orgasmed? Well, I never orgasmed with him. That's for fucking sure. Last quote, I was talking about him. And I said, he only stays for my triple Ds. I call that a booby trap. Ching, Yeah. Oh, Mr. Army Man. You honestly provided a lot of entertainment for a very, very unfortunate time in 2020. Like, because I was stuck at home. At least fucking Mr. Army Man was keeping me and all my friends entertained. Okay. So the next one is, it has a little explanation behind it. Most of these do. So I think there's a show. Oh, American Crime Story. So it's the show created by Ryan Murphy. There's American Horror Story, American Crime Story, and there's Monster. So they had done a season about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And I was like starting the first episode with my roommate at the time. And I was like, who's playing Bill Clinton? And he was like, Colin. And I was like, Firth? And then I go, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I was high as fuck when I said that, obviously. Oh, here's another one. This is where it's like, God damn it, Bailey. Yeah, you need to be fucking stopped. So my sister's boyfriend's family, his mom is a pastor, and we were having Thanksgiving dinner, and unfortunately, if you guys have not picked up on it, I do swear like a goddamn fucking sailor. Like, my favorite word is cunt. And the quote book literally says, and I couldn't say it at Thanksgiving dinner, obviously. I can't even say cunt tomorrow, even though it's my favorite word. We've all been there. Cunt. Anyways, God, a lot of these quotes come from me being really high, and here's another one. So me and my friend were throwing a Valentine's Day party, and we got little heart cutouts. We were writing words on them like they were supposed to be candy hearts. And she asked me, how do you put boobies in a calculator? Because it's like 80081. I don't know what the E is supposed to be. Anyways, but, or is it boobs? I don't remember. And instead of saying 8, she goes, how do you put boobies in a calculator? And I go, it's like B. The answer was 8. Okay, I was high. All right. This is a good one. This is a good one, people. You know I have a notorious history of not being able to come. And there's no backstory on that one. Okay. This is one for my girl. She's up there. And it has relation to Trisha Paytas. So I was at a party. I was talking to these guys I was friends with, and I had told them that I had seen one of the guys in our friend group, or who was at the party, I don't remember, on Hinge. And I was like, oh, I screen recorded his profile. I'll show you guys. So I'm going into my screen recordings and I go, oh, here it is. We open it. It's a screen recording of me going through. So Trisha Paytas, I love her, but there was obviously frenemies. And when the whole entire thing ended, she was tweeting like goddamn fucking crazy. And I was following along. I had post notifications on because I was like, oh my God, this is insane. So instead of pulling the screen recording up of the or the Hinge profile, I pulled up a screen recording of fucking Trisha Paytas' tweets. And I go, oh, here it is. And then we open it and it's literally me. It was a screen recording of Trisha Paytas' tweets. And I go, oh, sorry, that's a screen recording of Trisha Paytas' tweets. In relation to Trisha Paytas again, because I love her, my friend Brooke goes, this was this year. Who's ready for Met Gala Monday? And I said, I'm just ready to hear the gender of Trisha Paytas' baby. That was about Aquaman. Ended up being a boy. I did know where it got announced because I was waiting, because that same day, I believe Met Gala Monday was the same day that Trisha Paytas was doing her the Eras of Trish tour live, which I did go to. And on her last show, she was going to announce the gender of her baby. And it was a boy named Aquaman. We all know that's relevant to pop culture. Okay, guys. God, we have a lot of fucking high quotes from me. Holy shit. This summer, I did go to a Cubs game. And I wasn't sure if I was drinking at the time. But this is when I started smoking weed for like one of the first times. And I was at the Cubs game. My edible had just hit. And the best part about what was going on at this baseball game, I'm not going to give context, but a person I really, 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 really fucking hate and despise, their team was playing. And we had come at the 6th inning, and the Cubs were losing. As soon as I get there, what happens? We were 6th inning. Fucking home run. The home run. So I'm high as hell. The minute I get there, the Cubs score a home run. And they go, home run! And I go, this is just like Wii baseball. Moral of the story, though, what was so fucking awesome about that was that when we had gotten to the game, all of a sudden the Cubs were fucking playing so good, and the team of the person I fucking hate and despise, their team started playing horrible. Their team fucking started playing horrible. And it was so awesome because I was like, wow, this was awesome. And then they literally, like, I think they scored another home run, and then like the team they were facing were not even able to like catch anything. It was awesome. Every time they tried to catch a ball, they wouldn't catch it, or they would go, I don't know. But anyways, that was awesome. Okay, we only have 1, 2, 4 quotes, okay? These 2 quotes do also, these 3 out of the 4 do come from the fact that I was high. I guess I'm the funniest when I'm high. Guess what, guys? I am sober right now, but I'm still funny. So I'm not the funniest. Nah. Maybe I'll do a high episode and we can decide for later. Okay. I was watching the new Space Jam with my 2 old roommates, and we're all high, and I go, do they play the song Space Jam in Space Jam? And like the second one, you're like, no, they don't. And my roommate goes, no, they don't. And I go, spoiler? Because why the fuck would they not play Space Jam in Space Jam? It's a space, it's a space, it's a Space Jam. Hooray. Okay. This is another quote from when we were watching Space Jam. So my roommate at the time pauses Space Jam, and he goes, we're almost 20 minutes into this movie. We haven't seen a single Looney Tune. And then he starts hitting play. Like a couple seconds later, Roadrunner appears. And I go, Roadrunner, meep, meep. Oh, God. Okay. This is my last high quote, and there's one more quote after this, because this my last quote is the last thing that is in my quote book, the last note we left up on. So, the second to last quote is, we were watching, I was high, obviously, when am I not? Right now, I'm not high right now. I will be later. We were watching Alvin and Chipmunks. We had put it on, we were at a game night, and me and my friend were sitting in the corner. Everybody else was talking. Me and my friend were sitting in the corner. We were playing random music on the TV, and no one was paying attention. All of a sudden, we started playing Alvin and the Chipmunks, and then we weren't playing any fucking games. We were playing, no games ever happened at game night, and no games ever happened at game night. And me and my friend, we were like, let's put on Alvin and the Chipmunks. So we put on Alvin and Chipmunks after we'd fucking been listening to it. Her and I are high as hell. One of the main plot of the story is that Dave, the guy who rescues the chipmunks, is a songwriter, and he writes the songs for the chipmunks. He wrote Witch Doctor. I told a witch doctor they did. You know what I'm talking about? But at that time, I was still pursuing songwriting, wasn't pursuing the podcast yet. And I literally go, guys, Dave is so me. Should I go outside and find some chipmunks and teach them how to sing? Right. I didn't. But me and Mr. Reliable, if you guys can see him on the screen, we have been working on the singing. Ready? I'm going to hold him up to the mic. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay. Last quote from the quote book, my most recent one. Mr. Reliable's getting on me. My most recent one is a quote in relation, it all comes back together in relation to the dishwasher from my job. The 70-year-old man who loves me, that I give a hug every single day when I see him when I walk in. And we were talking about him, and I was talking about how much he loves me, and I go, he calls me mi corazón. And my friend Catalina, who actually speaks Spanish, she goes, okay, bilingual. And I go, this is one of the worst things I've ever fucking said, and this is where I need to be stopped. Genuinely. This is a great last quote to end on. And I go, it means my heart. Do you guys want to know how I knew that? Beverly Hills, Chihuahua. God fucking damn it. Why am I such a stupid fucking person? Like, that's such a stupid fucking thing to say. All right, guys. We have reached the end of the quotes. How do we feel? I'm going to ask you the same question Do we think chaos follows me, or do I need to be stopped? Based on the fact that most of these quotes coming from me specifically or when I'm high is maybe that high Bailey needs to be stopped. Maybe sober Bailey needs to be stopped. Maybe I just need to be stopped in general. But thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 2. We will have multiple episodes for the Notes app. This is only part 1 of this is going to be a series on the podcast of, it's going to be called I Need to Stop Being Allowed Access to My Notes app. This is part 1. There's a lot of parts to come. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I do have a list. This is my famous list. And I'll leave you on this one. It is called Men Who Have Betrayed Me in Order of Betrayal. There are 22 people on there. And if you are a man who has listened, or you're a man who's listening to this right now, and you know I don't fucking like you, you're on that goddamn fucking list. And there's a fucking lot of you that I don't fucking like. But I'm going to pull it up right now. And there's someone on this list that you guys would know. I don't know where he ranks. So let me look right now. Okay. So, and I'm not going to give you the backstory, but there are 22 people. In the very middle, number 10, not number 11, is David Dobrik. And I'll leave you on that. You guys will get he's a piece of shit, but I have my own personal story related to him. And that's on that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope we had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I will say a lot of these quotes did happen from me personally when I was high. So I'm going to leave you on that. Maybe it's just high Bailey that needs to be stopped. I think. I would say sober Bailey probably. Honestly, I think I'm even more chaotic when I'm sober. I fucking lied, people. Maybe high me is the one that doesn't need to be stopped. But thank you for being here on this first installment of I Need to Stop Being Allowed Access to My Notes app. There will be a lot more installments of the Notes app series coming soon to a place near you. And I leave you on this. My name is Bailey Resman, and I need to be stopped.